everyone. Hope you're having an amazing day. It's Code Karen. Welcome to r/Am I the A-hole, where we have 2 incredible stories with comments. If you're new to this channel, a sub would be great. Let's jump to the stories. Our first story is, am I the a-hole for kicking my sister out because she wants me to leave my house so she can celebrate the holiday alone with her husband? My sister, 26, who I'll call Emily, moved into a beautiful home with her husband, 29, who I will call Roger, about 2 years ago. Emily and I were never very close, but we were family nonetheless. Recently, they decided to get their beautiful house renovated. Since it's been quite a disaster at their place, they asked if they could move in with me last week. I was a little shocked because we haven't spoken in a while, but I said it would be fine with me. The holidays are coming up and all. After a couple of days, Emily wanted to have a talk. She asked if she and Roger could have the place, aka my house, to themselves for the holiday. I asked where she thinks I would go, and her response was, I don't know, get a hotel. She told me that I can afford a couple days in a hotel, and it wouldn't kill me. She said don't take it personally. It's nothing against me. It's just that they have their own family traditions and like to spend the holiday alone together. Hey, not my problem that they chose to get their house renovated during the holidays, knowing it would interfere with their precious traditions. After I got over the shock of this request, maybe about 2 minutes, I asked both of them to pack their things and leave. I can't rearrange my life and move out because they want to spend the holidays alone with each other. It's not like they will be homeless or anything. I know my parents will take them in. And of course, I get a call from my parents and they are absolutely infuriated with me because I refused to let my sister stay. I was the selfish one not to allow them to enjoy some alone time. After all, they were going through such a difficult time with all their home renovations. Give me a break. Am I the a-hole that's living in an upside-down world? Doris Useless says, if they wanted privacy, they could have 1. Planned better, or 2. Done what they wanted you to do and reserved a hotel room for themselves. It's just wacko that they wanted you to leave your own house without an offer to pay for you to get a nice room somewhere and cover your costs while they stayed at your house. Not to mention that you were seen as persona, not grata. There is some serious entitlement on their part. Not the a-hole, for sure. It's not me, it's you says. Let me get this straight. Your sister asked you to leave your own home because of her family traditions? I would have laughed hysterically and repeated the question back to her like it was the biggest joke ever. Through my tears of laughter, I would have said something like, sorry about that, you were just hilarious. What did you really want to talk to me about? Granted, only a sister with 0 consideration for you would ever ask something like this of you. So no, you are not the a-hole. Not even close. Saya V says, not the a-hole. Are your parents aware of your sister's request to kick you out of your own home for the holidays without even offering to compensate you? Does her husband know she made that request? You are right to be angry. You helped them out and this is how she thanks you? Excluding you from her holiday plans. How does that make you feel? You need to let your parents know that your sister is crazy for trying to send you away so she can be alone with her husband. I've never heard of this before. I suggest a nice, leave me alone from now on message would be appropriate. Ragdoll Seeker says, not the a-hole. This event actually changed your family dynamics for good. You sound like a happy to be around and reasonable person. Your sister wrongly assumed that she could take advantage of your kindness and you would give her your house for the holidays. By refusing this ridiculous request, your sister and the rest of your family know that you actually have limits and can't be pushed around. Do not ever step back, apologize, or say you're sorry. If you do that, they will learn that you can be pushed around and make unreasonable demands. In that case, you will have to resist harder. Things will get much worse. Family will whine today, but will respect you more tomorrow. These complaints are short-lived. You stood up to your sister, who sounds like she is used to getting her way. Good for you. Beautiful Mistake says, so your sister and brother-in-law are fortunate enough to have the money for renovations for their house? Nice. I would assume that if she has the money for renovations, that she also has the money to stay in a hotel, right? And since you're single, you should be okay with being kicked out of your own home? Ha! If their holiday traditions were so important, why did they choose to do the home renovations now? Do not feel bad for your self-centered sister. The audacity of her is appalling. It was incredibly kind of you to open your home to a couple of a-holes. This is a just no family if I ever heard of one. You are not the a-hole. Happy holidays, and remember you tried to do the kind thing. Not the a-hole at all. Stay strong. Our second story is, am I the a-hole for wanting to celebrate my wedding anniversary with joyful photos despite the fact that we had a tragic death at the event? My husband and I had our wedding last year. The venue was beautiful and bordered a lake. Unfortunately, during the reception, one of the young children snuck away from his parents and fell into the lake. He did not know how to swim and lost his life. This was tragic and devastating, and obviously cut the day short. We haven't really spoken to the parents since then. We weren't close to them aside from seeing them on holidays. We are still Facebook friends though. On our first wedding anniversary, I made a post celebrating the anniversary with a few wedding photos. I didn't think anything of it until the comments came flooding in. I woke up to 30 comments and 15 missed calls. The top comment was from the mother who lost her child that day. She was outraged about the post. She wrote a very long comment about how my post was disrespectful of the tragedy that happened that day, and how dare I post that and not mention her child. 30 comments later, and it was clear that the entire family had clearly started to take sides in a battle I didn't realize I created. As of today, we're at 150 comments. My friends and my parents are involved too. Half of our family is screaming for me to take it down, apologize to the parents, and show more respect, possibly by celebrating our wedding anniversary on a different day. Some family think that we should still be able to celebrate our anniversary on the actual day, but just keep it offline to keep peace. I don't think I did anything wrong with my post, and I feel like we should be allowed to celebrate our anniversary just like anyone else. I'm not celebrating the tragedy, I'm celebrating my wedding. Am I the a-hole for creating this Facebook post? Edit 1. My mother-in-law sent me an email with, from what I can tell, roughly 90% of my husband's family is CC'd on it. His parents, grandparents, and the parents of the child are not only in the celebrate on a different day camp, but they are also demanding a second wedding. They feel that because of what happened that day, we aren't really married in the eyes of the family. They understand that weddings are expensive, so my husband's parents offered to pay for this second wedding that, according to them, will be the real wedding. Because it may be a year or more before the new wedding, they will tolerate us living in sin. My husband hates arguing with his family, and I'm not sure how I would even approach this with my family without being laughed out of the room, so now we need to talk about what to do with this drama. Edit 2. I've never had this many calls in my life. My husband and I avoided this subject for a long time because it is not an easy thing to talk about, and it is not like this year hasn't been stressful enough. He agrees that while something needs to happen, his family has to acknowledge that we are in fact legally married. I had a conversation with my parents who are now aware of the entire situation. They are not supportive of a second wedding, but they understand that I have a unique situation and must do something about it. I feel like I should address some things. 1. I did send condolences and attend the child's funeral. By not speaking to the child's parents, I meant since the funeral, not since the wedding. 2. I am not heartless. I wanted to strike a balance between celebration and respect. It was not an easy day or an easy thing to talk about. I was trying to keep things very factual, which I can see might come across as very cold in a text. 3. The Facebook photos and caption didn't reference the wedding itself, and there is no lake visible in the pictures. I only used images that had just my husband and me in them, and I posted pictures of the bridal party before. I never have or will post pictures of the reception. 4. My husband and I are looking for ideas on how to fix all of this. Superfast Mama says, everybody sucks here. But for crying out loud, take the post down. On one hand, there is a family with a deceased child facing the 1-year anniversary of their loss. Unimaginable pain. On the other hand, there is your need to have people comment on how beautiful your wedding was and wish you a happy anniversary. The parents' pain far outweighs your needs for likes. Why you didn't block the family of the deceased child from your post is beyond my comprehension. As soon as you saw it was causing pain, you should have deleted the post. Of course, you can celebrate your anniversary all you want, just not visible to these people who have a dead child. Show some compassion. CDIFL says, "You are the a-hole. Something awful happened at your wedding. It wasn't your fault, but it's something that you have to deal with for the rest of your life. I'm very sorry that you will never be able to have a normal anniversary, but that's a small burden compared to having to deal with the loss of a child. Those that say you should just celebrate privately are absolutely correct. Do not put anything celebratory where the grieving parents can see it. People have been celebrating anniversaries for centuries before Facebook existed. You'll survive without making public announcements of your wedding for friends to see." Bitter Irony 1891 says, "Wow, everyone even closely associated with this situation is vying to be the biggest a-hole, huh? I thought you were heartless and inconsiderate to have made the Facebook post, but that MIL email suggests you are the lesser of the a-hole people in your social circle. Living in sin? Give me a break." I don't mean to sound flip, but clearly none of the people present at your wedding processed the tragedy they witnessed, directly or indirectly, in a healthy way. Y'all need therapy. It looks like your whole family is a bunch of drama queens who second each other's bad ideas. I'm sorry your wedding was ruined. I'm sorry for the family who lost their child. I'm sorry for everyone who was present and impacted by such an upsetting event. I'm sorry your in-laws are making a crappy situation even crappier. What a sad mess. Coolman says, "Not the a-hole, but definitely insensitive. You had a happy occasion marred by the unfortunate passing of a child. You have every right to celebrate your wedding, but not all anniversaries are happy. The first anniversary following a loss is really difficult. That said, people still have joyous occasions on tragic days. Celebrate your anniversary on a different day? Those people are a-holes. The parents of the child are slightly a-holes. You don't need to memorialize their child in your post. That was not the purpose of the Facebook post. I would recommend filtering your anniversary post to exclude these parents. Losing a child is a terrible feeling, I am sure." J to the Moon says, "This could be a very controversial situation, but in my point of view, not the a-hole. I'm sorry that tragedy happened at your wedding. You were celebrating your wedding, and these parents should have been more attentive to the whereabouts of their child. Sounds like you were also discouraged from uploading wedding pictures after what happened. So you won't be able to publish photos from your wedding until forever? That's not fair to you or your husband. A bad incident at your wedding doesn't mean that you can't share your love. However, it would have been better, in my opinion, to publish a picture of you and your husband on your actual anniversary day and not from the wedding day." AdPresent6703 says, "Everybody sucks here. You are allowed to celebrate your anniversary, but you should have known this post should have been handled with more sensitivity. I find it a little odd that you weren't uncomfortable making the post. Your comments make it sound like you didn't put much thought behind it, and that makes me wonder how compassionate you really are. I think individual or couple therapy might be good. It may help you navigate all this social drama and see how it has impacted your relationships with both sides of your family since the wedding. Everyone else sucks for not validating your marriage and somehow thinking that a do-over, which is ridiculous, is reasonable. This is definitely not a normal situation, so it isn't a surprise that no one is handling it well. I'm so sorry for all of your suffering. I wish you and your family healing. And, by the way, happy anniversary." Hey Code Karen community, what would you do in this situation? I'd love to hear your comments.